Hi friends, welcome to Health Lassa. Today the topic of discussion is coronavirus airborne? Before going into the discussion, first let us know what is an airborne transmission. When a person speaks, coughs, sneezes, sings, the respiratory droplets are spread into the air. If these droplets are less than 5 microns, they get suspended in air and travel much longer distances and can remain viable for longer periods, that is aerosols. If these droplets are greater than 10 microns, they don't travel much and fall on the ground. This is the reason why aerosol transmission is dangerous than droplet transmission. A group of 239 scientists wrote an open letter to WHO stating that it is time to address airborne transmission of COVID-19, in which they issued an appeal to the medical community and to the relevant national and international bodies to recognize the potential for airborne spread of COVID-19. WHO on the next day stated that short-range aerosol transmission, particularly in specific indoor locations such as crowded and inadequately ventilated areas with infected persons, cannot be ruled out. Few experiments conducted in the light of aerosol transmission were: one of the first studies published in Nature was conducted in Renmin Hospital in Wuhan. The study found that the concentration of SARS-CoV-2 in aerosols detected in isolation wards and ventilated patient rooms was very low, but it was higher in the toilet areas used by the patients. Levels of airborne SARS-CoV-2 RNA in the most public areas was undetectable, except in the two areas that were prone to crowding, the study stated, but they did not detect the infectivity. In April, a correspondence published on NEJM by researchers from the US National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, they found that SARS-CoV-2 remained viable in aerosols throughout the duration of the experiment that lasted for 3 hours. So, they concluded aerosol and fomite transmission of SARS-CoV-2 is likely, since the virus can remain viable and infectious in aerosols for hours. But WHO disagreed, as they were based on experiment and does not reflect clinical settings in which aerosol generating procedures are performed. Another research in May, the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention published a study titled High SARS-CoV-2 Attack Rate Following Exposure at a COVID Practice. The researchers who studied superspreading events found that following 2.5-hour COVID practice attended by 61 persons, including a symptomatic index patient, 32 were confirmed, 20 probable secondary COVID-19 cases occurred, 3 patients were hospitalized and 2 died. The study noted that the act of singing itself might have contributed to transmission through the emission of aerosols, which is affected by the loudness of vocalization. So far, these researchers were known. Now, what is WHO saying? It says urgent research should be done on: number 1. Can airborne transmission occur under conditions which do not generate aerosols? Number 2. Relative transmission rates in the spread of coronavirus. Number 3. Dose of the coronavirus required for causing disease. Number 4. Settings and risk factors for superspreading events of coronavirus. Number 5. Extent of asymptomatic and pre-symptomatic transmission. Now, what are the risk factors? Number 1. Hospital settings where some procedures generate aerosols. Number 2. Indoors with poor ventilation. Number 3. Crowded areas. Having said this, how should we prepare for this? We shall follow some measures. Number 1. Wearing a mask compulsorily even in indoor areas with poor ventilation. Number 2. Avoiding crowded places. Number 3. Staying in ventilation. Number 4. Disinfection of environment. So guys, please be safe, and if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.